Hello and welcome, summoners! My name is Loki, and I'm joined by our lovely Prince Pentan!
Quack, quack, that's the noise a penguin makes, apparently. I'm Scott7, your guildmaster here at Players Guild, and today we are breaking down the first year of organised play for Battle Spirit Saga. It makes me so happy I can say that. Well, I say first year, it's through until February next year. Well, May, March,
I
February,
mean, it's going
February,
to be
March
the
time.
first year of existence of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, which I think is amazing that we've got this transparency from Bandai, and I hope it's something that we see applied to all of their games. But for now, we're talking specifically about Battle Spirit Saga and how it pertains to the general, the macro. But also, we're going to talk about the UK scene and what that could entail for us as well.
So,
Um,
first thing that's worth mentioning here is that they build it around their core set, and the
mhm.
core sets are only every 3 months, which means you don't have that product that you need to collect 100 new cards every month. Every 3 months seems to be the sweet spot for the game, especially as competitive game as this.
Mm,
And building the competitive scene around that, provided there is no delays, is going to be absolutely amazing.
yeah, I agree. I think that's a really good um space between sets. Obviously, there's going to be expansions and lore sets and stuff like that spiced in to spice it up. That's just how
But
Bandai
that's
and
just going
Card
to
Games
be a
work.
couple of cards here and there. There's nothing going to be meta changing. Hopefully, Time Patroller Trunks still.
Yeah, right. I mean, there are the tournament promos, but it is what it is. As for the expansion sets and stuff like that, I'm fairly confident, right? I'm fairly confident of doing it in a nice way. They've got the same set of cards. You just need to buy two of that product, and you'll get the play set.
Yeah.
Um, and that seems to be consistent here as well. But we're breaking down the events first. So at the store level, you do have the store tournaments. That is the weekly come and play this game. You get given a promo. If you win, you get a winner promo. Uh, all Bandai games seem to have this, and some of them are very good. Some of them make the decks work. The two that we've seen from this already is quite interesting. Um, but yeah, that's your bog standard tournaments, and they're going to basically be starting from May, it seems, by this graphic that we have here.
Yes. In April, the release events are going to be run by a early adopter stores.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, those are not going to have the tournament packs. They're going to have a special, the Buffalo Bill, and then two other altered, the Tamagotchi promos. I think.
Tamagotchi's buy a box for everyone.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Uh,
The other thing is the Big Bang Energy and Landmine, all arts, I think.
uh, I just know that in April there's going to be, because the game comes out end of April.
Mm-hmm.
So the release events are going to be run by early adopter stores. So make sure to check if your local game store is an early adopter, because you might be able to get some special alt art promos in there.
Yeah, big shout out to Living Realms and, of course, Brotherhood. Two stores we work closely with, two stores we love, and two stores that have been supporting this game from the offset. So yeah, next up we go to the store championships, which are more prestigious events. These are going to be bigger events that will also net you invites into the Pro Tour. We'll talk about the Pro Tour in just a little bit, but
Do the
the store
store
champs.
championships grant? From what I remember, it was only the Grand Open that grant you invites to the Pro Tour. Because on the video you were watching, that no one of course seen,
No,
it was 6 Grand Opens, each granting 32 slots in Pro Tour for a total of 192 players.
I'm fairly certain store granted you
And
entry.
then top 64 from each Pro Tour is going for the World Championships with 192 players again.
Mm.
While Scott is checking that, just a quick information we can see here about the Grand Open, which is going to be a open event that anyone can participate in. There's going to be 2 in NA area, 2 in EU area, 1 in Oceania, and 1 in LATAM region. So for a total of 6 events, they're going to be happening for each Pro Tour season. A Pro Tour season is going to be lasting 2 months. Then there's going to be a Pro Tour in the third month. and that's how it's going to rinse and repeat. Every month there is going to be one in NA and one in EU, and then either Oceania or LATAM. And again, top 32 players from those events not only are going to be getting their share of the cash prizes, but also going to get an invite to the Pro Tour. The first Pro Tour is going to be in NA region, the second one in Europe, and the third one again in NA, which is really expected because American player base is going to be bigger, rather the biggest player base for this game there is. At least that's what we're expecting.
Yeah, I mean that's what we saw with the launch events,
Exactly.
and all card games are the biggest in America. Like,
I mean, it's the biggest country, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the West.
And yeah, just to correct that, Store Championships do not get you the invites into Pro Tour. It is just a higher tier level of event with some really cool alt arts, and you get bragging rights for that local area. But yeah, I think you did a really good job of explaining it there. So this is the first game I'm competing in which has a Pro Tour, and that's a really exciting prospect for me as someone who has been in TCG since I knew what they were. This prospect is very interesting to me, and it's something I want to aspire to. And the fact that these Grand Opens are going to fall in line with the set releases, I think it basically makes it so anyone can pick up that new set, get a deck of it, and then at least attempt the Grand Open, right?
The Grand Open is going to be run throughout the current set, and then the Pro Tour is going to be the first major tournament of the new set.
Yeah.
Which I think is amazing. This is how Magic used to run its Pro Tours back in the day.
So you never really at too much of a disadvantage here from what it seems like on paper.
It's going to be very difficult to test for the Pro Tour because that's when you actually do need to sit down and test with the proxies and test all the possible decks. Because those are the cards that are going to be coming out, I think, about a week or two before the Pro Tour.
But I kind of like that, right? That incentivizes and puts the players who are skilled and do put in that time, they're going to be rewarded for it.
Yeah.
And I also, like you said, yes, there's two NA ones right now in the EU as well. But there is rumblings of last chance qualifiers and other ways of hand down invites and stuff like that. There's rumors of that going on. As well, obviously, we'll wait for official confirmation on that, but that is also a possibility.
I can imagine hand down invites because they want to hit their player cap, which is 192. The question, I have two major questions. First one, do you need to use your invite in the given season? So if in season 1, I get an invite, but then I need to go to NA, which I might not be able to. For one reason or another, I might have work to do. The travel might be too expensive.
That's true.
And the other question is, will there be possibly a compensation or a hotel or something like that for the players who qualify?
For Pro Tour, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I
don't think
it's going to be for World Championships either because it's also 192 players.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think there is going to be comp there.
I don't think it's going to be.
Maybe if you if there's something above Worlds where it's like Grand Invite Champions,
maybe winners.
Yeah, like I could see maybe winners of the Pro Tours getting comp.
But then it has we know that the Pro Tour, those 3 Pro Tours have a total of pricing of $300,000, which means there's 100,000 split for all 3 for each of them separately. Which means that travel and accommodation is going to cost a certain amount of money. It is going to be really cool to win at those events, but the question is going to be getting to those events, because if it's going to be Las Vegas again or Florida, especially the first one, is going to be. It might be very difficult to get to because it's in July.
Yeah, I mean that's always the risk though, but it's the risk and reward, and that like people are going to travel if they want to compete, right? And we've seen it with Dragon Ball, and I'm hopeful we'll see it. Actually, we did see it with this launch event. We had loads of people from Europe turning up, which was a surprise, a pleasant surprise. So I guess the last little thing to talk about here with the organized play is the Grand Opens and where they fitted in the UK. Right now, there's nothing announced. I almost will guarantee there's going to be an event at UK Games Expo. I cannot see them not having a Grand Open there. It's
Especially it
after the
works
release.
with the dates, right? Because it's in June.
Mm-hmm.
The Games Expo is in June, so kinda expect it to be there. But
Yeah.
of course, there's no official confirmation yet. There is no tickets, so we don't know. And then in July there is the Pro Tour.
Yeah. So I think there's a very good chance that we'll see the UK Games Expo. It's one of the biggest tabletop board game events in the world. It makes sense. Bandai have always had a presence there. They did Digimon. They've done Dragon Ball ever since it's been a thing. They've done, yeah, as I mentioned, Digimon, and I'm sure One Piece will be there this year as well.
Yeah. And we
So
fully expect the Battle Spirits to be there as well.
Exactly, and I would imagine it's a grand open event. It also is a perfect event for people to just get in and try it, which I think is great, because there's going to be a lot of people. It's like, oh, I can just enter this event and try and win money. All right, cool.
But because this is going to be the first event, then there's also a question, what is going to be the entry? Because the launch events did not have a cost for entry.
I imagine it's going to be £20 to £30. I think that's.
What is going to be your participation pricing then?
That's obviously going to be revealed at a later date.
Because we have no information about.
It's a Bandai card game.
It's all speculations at the moment.
It's a Bandai card game. They'll give you something. I'm hopeful. Maybe at this point they'll probably put out more event pack 1s. I'd like to see event pack 2, but I could see it being event pack 1 still. But maybe some Pentan alt art or something. I'd be okay with that. But then I expect like top 64 will have different pricing, top 32, top 8, on top of the money, right? On top of the money.
Yeah, of course, because one of the biggest things is going to be money.
Yeah.
From what I calculated, the Grand Open events actually don't have that big pool of money. I mean, I say not that big pool of money. On average, they're going to be paying out about $25,000 total.
Which is a decent chunk of change to be taken home.
But I think first place, compared to the launch event, which was first place, was $15,000.
Yeah, for the UK it was 15. I think for America
I think it's going to be about $3,000 this time.
That's decent.
Maybe
still.
less, maybe 2,000. I think it's going to be still at least 1,000, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, I can't see it being
less. But I'm looking forward to see the price split. I'm definitely looking forward to testing because White won the European launch event and the American launch event.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely need to test some White or something that can beat White.
Yeah. I've got ideas. But obviously there's also going to be the expansion set before that and the promos as well. So that it isn't going to be the exact same as the launch event. Yes, also, people are going to be more familiar.
Tournament promos and expansion, isn't it? And the core set
and the core set, right? So yeah, there's going to be a few new cards in that pool before the first Grand Opens. I'm just genuinely really excited to see something like this laid out. Yes, there are a few questions, and we will try and get answers, but I'm sure they'll be answered in due time. I'm looking forward to Worlds. I like how BSS 4 is kind of scheduled at the end of January, beginning of February. I think they're doing all the right things for this game.
So we know BSS 04 is going to be coming out for the second NA Pro Tour. And I don't think World Championships are going to be happening the same month.
Okay.
I think this is just a placeholder.
Okay, I could see it. I could see that. But yeah, so if you want to go for those let's break it down then, right? So to summarize, basic events, your weekly events are going to be your store tournament. Then you're going to have your store championships, which are a more competitive
like once
environment,
a month, to be a thing. Pardon? Once a month or something like that, or once a season. I think they might be giving out the promos that we're going to be getting for the Grand Open as well.
Yes.
Similar to the regional promos that are given for the store championships in Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I could see that. And so that's going to be your card rewards based tournament, right? and
Yeah.
then you go into your Grand Opens, which is the money tournaments. From the Grand Open, you can earn your invite into the Pro Tour, and then from your Pro Tour, you can enter into the World Tournament, World Championships even. So you've got a nice little hierarchy there, and I know we're both going to be gunning for the Pro Tours. If we can compete in the NA Pro Tours, that's awesome. I am curious. Can we travel to the US Grand Opens, Oceania Grand Opens, and stuff like that? I'm sure it'll all be revealed in time. They've recently allowed it for Dragon Ball, so whether they allow it for Battle Spirits or not, we'll find out. Because that is something that genuinely interests me, is going to Latin America, especially after Vegas, where there was some Latin American guys, and it was just one of the coolest experiences. Like, we literally swapped those 2019 Dragon Ball things that said Europe on them, and he had the Latin ones, and we just swapped them, and it was just like, yeah, that's cool. So it's nice to meet other card gamers from around the world. And it's good that games like this can allow for it. Overall, really impressed. Really impressed. Yeah, I don't really have any negatives to say from it. I'm just ready to start playing weekly.
It's difficult to have any positives or negatives. Definitely one big positive to take out from this is we have a roadmap.
Yes.
Which is more than we could say for so many other games. But this one, Battle Spirits, is a game that is designed with competitive nature in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why they need to give us this roadmap. Especially they went out and said, look, we're going to give total of $1 million across all of those events.
Mm. Yeah, it's a big step, and so far they're doing everything in their power to make it a success. And all we can do as players is be along for the ride, and we are going to be there. So if you do see us at events, don't be scared. Come up and say hi. It's always a good time. We will be obviously taking any and all Pentans into the Pentan Sanctuary provided by Players Guild. Bless Papa Pentan. And yeah, let's go. Let's see Pentan win Worlds. I don't think there's anything else to say. So summoners, sound off in the comments below and smash that Soul Core subscribe button. And we'll see you next time.